Yeah, that's right, Cthulhu. Shiny new ship. So we went. It wouldn't be Belfast without sitting in London, right? Because for those of you guys who have been to London, you've probably visited the Belfast. If you haven't visited the Belfast and you ever get a chance to go and you're in London, check out the Belfast. She is by far the best museum ship I've ever been on. Cthulhu, XP from testing gets transferred over to the tier 1 when they drop the ship. So I always start with a 0 ship XP over here, even if I've played a ton of a ship. Wait, where's that Azur Lane dorm port from? From Azur Lane. That's something you could have opted in the past. But anyway, so definitely check out the Belfast if you get a chance. She's awesome. She's beautiful. And she's a lot of fun to be on. They do a great job. The Imperial War Museum puts it on, and they do a beautiful job with that. So let's show you guys. Here's our standard Belfast. This is the original Belfast, and then here is the Belfast 43. So I want to start this review by talking about what makes her different. And guys, if you've got questions about either ship or whatever, please ask, okay? When I do reviews of ships, I like to do them live with you guys, okay? Because you guys are the ones who might, want to go and spend money and pick them up or find a way to get it. So I want you guys to be, aware of the characteristics. So first and foremost, I should probably take my Cunningham captain, and I'm just going to put him in reserve for right now, because we want to compare apples to apples. And let me go into here, and I'm going to just mount the typical flags that I would put on the ship. Yeah. Okay. Just so that we can, when we talk about fire chance and stuff like that, it's similar enough. Okay. And I should probably throw some equipment on as well. It wouldn't be Belfast without radar, but it's a different type of experience. Yeah, I think I want to do that one. Smoke generator is very helpful for this one. And then rudder shift time is 10 seconds. I'm going to buff that. Matter of fact, I am going to double buff it. This is something that I played around with quite a bit, and I wanted to share with you guys. When I play Belfast 43, I play at range. So, okay, let's talk about some differences in the ship itself. First of all, Belfast Original, Tier 7. Belfast 43, Tier 8. So it's one tier higher. And what do you get for that additional tier? Well, the biggest thing that people are going to notice right off the bat is you get torpedoes. You end up with 8-kilometer torpedoes, and it's a 2x3 launcher. Okay, so it's not a ton, but if you've played the regular Belfast, then you understand what it's like to have battleships charging your smoke while you're sitting in it. This gives you a little bit of defense against that. Now, as somebody very astute in chat, Desta Waits pointed out, the smoke screen is a little bit of a different story. Now, the guns are the same 152s. However, the 43 has a different reload time, 10.5 versus 7.5 seconds. But look at the HE shell damage, 2100 on the original Belfast, and then on the Belfast 43, it's 2450. So she hits harder than the original. Okay, and then you can also see that with AP damage, 3100 versus the 43, which has actually it's the same. So really, it's more just the HE damage that you're gonna do. Okay, 43 also gets the 30mm HE penetration because it's a tier 8 ship. So you can see that right here, 30mm HE pen versus the original Belfast. Because this is a tier 7, it's only got 25mm base pen, which means if you want to run IFHE, on the Belfast 43, you can definitely do so. Because if you, let's see, calculator, 152 divided by 5 is 30, of course, times 1.25 is 38. So you can penetrate up to American battleships with that, versus the original Belfast. Go back to calculator, 152 divided by 6 times 1.25 is only 32 millimeters of pen. Oh, it's 37, yeah, because it rounds down when they do that. What do you use for slot 3 and 4? No, oh, never mind. So anyways, keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and take the that 19-point captain, and I'm going to spec him up how I would spec for an IFHE build. So that would be priority target. That would probably be expert marksman. Yeah. Superintendent. Obviously, you want to get the most out of your consumables. Concealment expert. And IFHE. And now, you got a few choices.
Is now following.
You got a few choices. Mr. Saiyan, thank you very much for the follow. So, you could go for Demolition Expert. You could go for Survivability. You could go for Vigilance. You could go for more Torpedoes. It's really up to you how you want to go. I'm probably going to go for Demolition to get more fire chance, because you lose 50% fire chance when you go into IFHE. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up Adrenaline Rush for my last point. I could alternately go for Joat as well. So now you can see in the tooltip here, 37 millimeters of penetration. Now if I were to take this guy and grab him from Belfast 43 and put him on the original Belfast, being tier 7, 1/6 HE penetration, you can see now 31 millimeters. It will not penetrate 32 millimeters armor. Whoops, wrong ship. Go away, Edinburgh. 32 millimeters armor is like that special threshold that you want to obtain if you want to do good, reliable damage to battleships. So not being able to pen 32 is kind of a big deal for the original Belfast. Being able to pen 32 might be a big deal for Belfast 43. It really depends on how you want to set it up. Okay? So that's one big difference. Another big difference in the two ships has to do with its consumables. Now, the original Belfast has a smoke screen that will... Now, this one, I don't have the special module on, but this one here, you can see lasts for 103 seconds. So you get about a minute and a half of time in that smoke. Versus the Belfast, which has British destroyer smoke, it only lasts for 38 seconds. So you're not going to take the Belfast 43, pop smoke, and just pew, 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 pew like crazy. This smoke for the Belfast is more of a crap, I gotta run, get away from me kind of a smoke. That's part of the reason why I'm going to show you guys gameplay with double rudder. Because now my rudder shift time is 5 seconds. And that's going to allow me, in theory, to get away from my enemy much quicker. You can see my detect is 9.9 seconds. If I were to swap that out for concealment, you can see I would go down to 8.9 seconds if I were to pick in concealment instead. Let me go back to the Belfast for a second and put Cunningham back on the Belfast, because he's got concealment expert. And you can see here, same detect, 8.9 and 8.9. But the big difference is what happens with that detection. Because of the smoke, you can't really play the Belfast 43 like you would play the Belfast, to where you kind of hang out at the edge of the place. Did I say 8.9 seconds? Sorry, I meant 8.9 kilometer. So yeah, you want to typically play the 43 a little bit farther away from the action. Now, the other thing, too, is I believe the radar is a little bit different, too. Let's take a look. 9 kilometer range, 30 seconds with the special module. 8.5 kilometer range, 30 seconds with the module. So the Belfast 43 does get a slightly larger range for radar. But the problem that I find with the ship is, because of the fact that you can't feel as comfortable playing up close and personal, that radar is not as useful as you might think. The 43 can stealth torque. That is a good point, because if the target is chasing after you, and you can get down to that 8.9, you can do that. You could put a plane up, but I don't know. I'd probably still rather do radar, personally. And then, of course, you get hydro just like the Belfast gets hydro. There you are. Let's take a look at the armor scheme. So we got 13, 19, and then 114. And we got 16, 19, and 114. So the Belfast 43's bow is a little bit thicker. Okay, SAT, you meant stealth radar. Yeah, so if you play the Belfast without the double rudder, and you play it like this, and you've got your concealment down at 8.9 kilometer, then yes, if you get detected, you can hit the magic eye win button and detect whoever's detecting you. The challenge is, if you are in a game with carriers, that makes it a lot more difficult. So, anyways, does anybody have any questions about the ship before we go in? I'm probably going to go ahead and play it more farther back, and I'm going to use double rudder here. Because me, I love being slippery. I love being able to maneuver back and forth. That's just how I like to play it. And I'm going to put a better camo on, too. Where's my sci-fi? There's my sci-fi. Okay, so one of the things I always do when I talk about the ship is I like to take it into a battle. I do not like to pick and choose a replay or something to showcase to you guys, so I'm literally just going to take it right into a game. And might as well enable whatever it's called, naval battles. But I want you guys to be able to see the ship as it happens, and I'm not trying to cherry pick a specific game to showcase to you guys, okay? Mr. One Nice to Guy 3. Congratulations on winning. And thanks for being a follower, dude. 1 hour and 13 minutes is all it takes. Nice. Alright, we got into a straight tier 8 game. And oh look, my buddy from Kraken Below, the Real Reaper, is in here. That's awesome. So I should probably go ahead. I was gonna block message law. Send him a compliment. Is he on this side? He is. Okay, and he is divisioned up with Loyang's in the middle of the map, and the North Carolina. It's all the way on the other side, or is it? No, he's in the middle. Okay. Double Rudder Mogami is pretty fun too. I do agree with you there. So, it's not as crazy as the Gale in the hunting mode or whatever, but it's still very comfortable. And I'm gonna play this ship as more of a ranged cruiser who uses the smoke to go dark and disengage as necessary. And then when I need to, I can charge in. At least that's the plan for now. We'll see what happens. There is a carrier on the enemy team, so I have to be careful about where I position myself. So I'm going to stop now because there's carriers coming. Reaper is going to get towards A. And this key has pretty... He's got great anti-air, but he's naked. At least I think he's naked, unless he's using the... Maybe... No, never mind. He's using the, that Merit of Service, I think? I can never tell between naked or that camo. Yeah, it is merit of service, yeah. So that's good at least. Alright, Akizuki. Alright, see, Anchorage. People should shoot him. Now, Reaper is doing something he probably shouldn't be doing with the Akizuki. He's bowing in at that spot there. I'd rather see him turning out and backing him, but that's okay. The Vladivostok is pulling in. Okay. Ah! Aha! Cool, I'm able to shoot for free right now as long as I don't clear that island from the mines. So now I'm going to get into a position to move out. Nikki is wonderful. Uh-oh. I'm going to wait till the Massachusetts fires, and then I'm going to go ahead and shoot again. And the question is, where'd that mines go? There he is. Okay, he's turning away. It's very good. He's turning around too, so is... Okay. Wow, nice job there. First blood. He just fired. There we go. Oh! Jeez! A wild Vladivostok appears. Okay. Well, let's hope I don't disappear that quickly. I'm being targeted by one. Gee, I wonder who it is. Now I'm being targeted by three. Mines is one of them. I don't care about him so much. You can see those archy shells. Hard to hit at range. That's one of the reasons why I like to play more at range. And I wonder if the Belfast 43 has that same glitch I was showcasing earlier in Narai. Let's find out together, shall we? Hey, Brooklyn, how you doing? Nope. It maintains its energy. That's awesome. This key is not gonna live too much longer, but he's gonna get torpedoes off. And then once he dies, I'm gonna see that target monitor switch up to like 8. So I already need to be thinking about getting out of here. If we're lucky, the key will be able to turn around and get those other torps off. I don't like that the Massachusetts is pushing now because I'm going to get in a secondary range pretty soon, so I think I need to turn north and get out of here. I shouldn't have shot that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make Inky. Yeah, I know, it's not a bug, it's due to how they accelerate. They've got like this enhanced engine stuff, basically, engine power, whatever you want to call it. Alright. So Massachusetts is distracted. And so is the Vladivostok. But apparently the mines really wants me dead. He's already shooting at me from smoke. That's cool. Alright, so we got the Akizuki in A with fighting against Reaper here. So one thing I could do at this point is I could go dark and get into range to use my radar. When you play this way, you have to be very cognizant of who's targeting you and what shells are coming in and all that kind of stuff. And possible firing angles. So the Vlad is the only thing that really has a good angle on me. There he is right there. And you can see that double rudder is allowing me to turn this ship a little bit quicker. And just like that, I have the ability to smoke up again and run if I need to. Nice torpedo there by Reaper. Just chilling this afternoon. Cool, cool. Yeah, the key, it's too easy to use torpedoes, and then you get yourself sucked into that, right? That's a good point. Alright, so the Vlad has decided to ignore me, so what I'm going to do now is just stop. There's no need in moving around too much. I'm going to keep myself at a quarter speed. I want to have some water going by my rudder so that I can react to situations if I need to. But for right now, my main goal is to just hammer down this Vlad before the Massachusetts can get a broadside on Richelieu. That's all I'm trying to do right now. Reaper is probably going down. He got himself painted into a corner there. Oh, don't ram. Don't ram. What are you doing? Oh my god. Wow. Did you guys see that? This guy had a death wish. Look, he's even ramming the dead corpse. Oh well. Hey, True. Did True win? Nice work over at A. It looks like the team did a great job at decap, though. And so now it's just the Akizuki and the Massachusetts Black. Of course, the Akizuki at this point might have turned around. It's been a long time since he's been spotted. There's carriers in the game, but I haven't really felt like they mattered. Maybe they're more important on the other side. Alright, Massachusetts Black is firing, so now I can go ahead and open up on him. Your wife heard ramming the dead corpse and wondered what she was listening to. Explanations were required. I aim to please, my friend. And the Massachusetts? Nope. He's not targeting me. I thought he was targeting me. I was getting ready to go into a defensive posture. Somebody else is targeting me. Okay. Still gonna get into a defensive posture here. The Massachusetts is ramming himself into an island. And so that's gonna allow me to just kind of sit here and stop. Got a Turpets and a North Carolina coming up the flank corner, so I'm gonna probably do that loser lap and... No. Better yet, I'm gonna stop and reverse. Oh, Akizuki's over there? Okay. That makes things easier for us. Oh, and the mines is going to be just outside of my range. Yeah, we'll still shoot anyway. We might hit. No hit, that's okay. Because these guys are going to start coming into my range. So let's get set up to receive. Setting up to receive means I'm in a kiting away position so that if I need to, I can just hit the W key and run. Ah, the enemy carrier. Nice, nice. And both of these battleships aren't even looking at me, so I'm just going to go to 1/4. Once again, that way I have a little bit of reactability. Oh, okay, fine. I'll just shoot the Akizuki instead. How about that? Being targeted by the North Carolina. So it's time to speed up a little bit. Okay. So 2 people are targeting me, but their guns aren't really turning my way. They're bumping instead. Okay. Slow back down again. I'm gonna pop my Hydro just to be super safe. Oh, and I'm gonna make Inky here. Oh, hello. What are you doing out like this? Aw, that's the game. You're welcome, Cthulhu. Hello, El Chapo, how are you? And there you go. Look at all the work I did.
Marcio
Oh well.
Twist is now following.
The problem with the thing about the Belfast is you need to play it because you can't depend on the smoke as much to allow yourself to sit there and just hold down left mouse button and farm. You need to put it into a position where you can use that smoke mostly as a runaway kind of a deal, not so much as a I'm gonna sit here and do a whole ton of damage kind of a deal, if that makes any sense. Guys, last questions for the Belfast, please ask them. If not, we'll move on to replay analysis, okay? So, if you are thinking about the Belfast 43, first of all, if you don't have a Belfast original, ouch, that sucks, but the 43 is definitely not an up-tiered version of the Belfast original, and it's not, you know, the same but better in every respect or whatever, okay? You have to play her very differently from the original Belfast. You saw how I played her with double rudder. Definitely a playstyle if you like to play a cruiser that likes to be at range and maneuvering and a pain in the butt, then Belfast 43 is a good pick for you. If you want to play the anti-destroyer role and you're very good at using island cover, like say you're good with an Atlanta or a Flint, mostly Atlanta, then I would say the Belfast 43 would be a good pick for you as well, because you understand how to not get yourself blapped quickly if you're good in the Atlanta, if that makes any sense. So only buy if you're good at playing UK light cruiser or light cruiser destroyers. Dutch, I mean, you know, yeah, if you want. Sage, Stevie's not in his bed. I don't know where he is. I'll go pet him later, though. New Belfie looks pretty good. You say there was a pen buff. Yes. Yes. Her penetration is, with IFHE, 37 millimeters. Yeah, you know, if you like the Henri, it might be a good pick for you as well. But don't expect to take the Belfast out and play her like you would a Kutuzov or an Anchorage or you know, like the original Belfast. She's not something you just pop a tent in your smoke screen and farm with. You have to use that smoke screen to maneuver. Duckman brings up a good point. She will see a tier 10 game. Typically when I do my ship reviews, I end up getting stuck in a tier 10 battle. I got lucky this time, it was a straight tier 8. Do I think that it survives the tier 9 battle? Jay Henwicken, it survives any battle where you can ensure that you are not the focus target. And I know that sounds silly and kind of elementary, but if you watched how I played that last battle, I was very careful not to shoot until I saw the enemy battleship fire. He was already fixated at another target, then I opened fire, right? I was very cautious with my positioning. It's exactly right, Nolo. It's not overpowered. It's also not bad. I would say it's one of those ships that has strengths and weaknesses, which is a ship that you typically want to see. So, you know, I could have easily gotten destroyed if I started opening up, if I played it like a regular Belfast, stopped, popped my smoke, started shooting, and then realized that the smoke was gone. Bye-bye me, you know? Belfast against carrier, less anti-air. Let's take a look at the anti-air here for a sec. So AA defense is 53 rating versus 57 rating. So you've got 6x2 and 4x2 anti-air guns. And you can see that the Belfast 43 has a bunch of smaller guns in here as well, instead of just the 6x2 20 millimeters. So let's see, it does 5.8 kilometer firing range, and that's the most important for me. I always look at the firing range first. 232 continuous damage for the original Belfast versus 154. So the original Belfast has better continuous damage. And then shell explosions, the 43 actually looks like it's got better. Now, I just want to make sure that I don't have BFT. I do not. And let me double check that for some odd reason I don't have a wild choice for anti-air. No, in my original Belfast. So the Belfast 43 actually doesn't do as well anti-air wise. So something to be considering. Explosions and salvo 4, 90% hit, 3.5 action zone, 4, 90%. Yeah, so I mean, it's basically the same deal. It's just it doesn't do as much damage. So it's not going to be one of those ships that, you know, Rex carriers days or anything like that. You still have to be very careful and respectful of the carrier. You saw early when I played that game, I stayed close to that key for anti-air support. If I got spotted, especially by AP rockets on the Parseval, I could have just turned and ran straight to the key. I didn't have to because the Parseval was focusing the other side of the map for almost the entire game. So I got very lucky with there. Okay, so Miko, you have an anchorage, you do not know how to play it. Send me a replay of you playing it, and I'll give you some feedback. I'd love to. Well, and that's true, SAT. So you want to use, so like this Belfast here, the original Belfast, you're going to use that smoke to linger and shoot in a single space. This Belfast, you saw what I did with my smoke. I used it as a way to break contact so that people wouldn't go after me. And you can use that to your advantage against carriers as well if you need to. It's not going to last for an extremely long time. And the difference is with the British destroyer, you're smaller and more nimble, of course, than the Belfast. And as a result, you can play those kinds of games with carriers, I think, in a British destroyer that you can't play necessarily in a British cruiser like the Belfast. You can play some games, but it won't last as long. Won't be as fun. And Shane, you're exactly correct. There's no heal on this ship, so every hit that you take is a permanent sticky hit. And this thing, I mean, I showed you before the armor layout on it. It's such a wide ship that anything that comes in and penetrates in that citadel is going to do tons and tons of damage. There's the citadel. It's above waterline. And you can see if you get overmatched by the bow, which is very easy because that's only a 16mm bow, and boom, right in your thwart ship, that's gonna hurt. You know, dive bombers can easily pen into this superstructure. AP dive bombers, I should say. So I wouldn't say that she's a ship that you must go out and buy immediately. I would say she's a ship that you can buy if you're a collector, if you'd like to have a Belfast in your ports, to be able to say that you've got the Belfast. If you missed out on the original, okay. I think that she would be fun to play in ranked battles. In random battles, she's okay, but I don't know. Is she a crew trainer? You can put her in the same setup as the other British cruisers. You don't need IFHE on her. I mean, it helps, but you don't need it. If you don't take IFHE, then your fire chance goes up. Your penetration goes back down to standard. But without IFHE, let me just send the commander to reserve for a second. Without IFHE, you're at 30mm pen, so you are competitive against enemy cruisers, at least, with HE. That comes in handy. Super cruisers do overmatch the Belfast, which is a big problem, yes. Anything 280mm and up. Dutch is saying he'd rather save his money for the black ship. Cool. Guys, when I do these reviews, you know, of course, Wargaming gives me the ship for free for review purposes. I should have said that at the start. I always forget to say that. Oops. But my job is to showcase the ship, tell you guys what she's good at, and let you make a decision for yourself if you want to spend the money or not on the ship. But yeah, there are some ships that come out, guys, where we're like, buy this thing now before it gets nerfed or disappears, right? And the Belfast 43 isn't one of those ships that I would expect to be nerfed. I mean, it's a premium ship. Wargaming doesn't really nerf premium ships. I don't see Wargaming yanking the Belfast 43 from the premium shop, at least not right away. It's great for co-op, Cthulhu. Absolutely great for co-op. Dutch, thank you. I'm glad that it helps. Yeah, I try to talk through why I'm doing things in a certain way, and I think that's very important too, so. Okay, guys, any final questions? You definitely want to win the Belfast in a raffle. Absolutely. What's one of the nice things about this channel, one of the reasons why I like to do these reviews, is because assuming Wargaming approves the review, I'm able to give away a copy of the Belfast 43. And maybe that'll be next week or the week after, but yeah, absolutely. So you played all British light cruisers. They take a lot of damage. Yes. Heal in the ender really helps. Absolutely, yes. The heal in those British light cruisers is very, very handy. So losing out on that on the Belfast kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Let me put the standard camo on because I feel like nostalgia. And I want to see the... Oops, no. I want to see the Belfast in just the standard camo. I believe this is the camo that she's in today in London. But it's been a while since I've seen a picture of her, so I could be wrong, but... Such a cool museum ship, though. Seriously. Such an awesome ship to visit. So, give it a visit. This is the first museum ship that my wife and I had ever been on. We had gone to the Tower of London, and we had gone to the Tower Bridge, and then we worked our way over here. The entryway is on this side of the ship. And we go on the ship, and we figured it'll take us about an hour, hour and a half. I think it was like three and a half hours later, we're like, oh, we should probably leave. Like, we were that interested in the ship. We had that much fun in the ship. And my wife hates ships. She has no idea why I love ships and stuff like that. And she actually enjoyed it. So that should say something right there. Very fun ship. Wax figures are awesome. When you get up to the bridge, you can sit on a chair. They give you a captain's coat and binoculars, and you can get a picture of yourself up there too. It's awesome.